Something that I've been getting asked a lot lately is what is going on in the real estate market this year. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the market stats for the Simcoe County real estate market. I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the official stats for the month of September and how those compared to the month of August, as well as the stats for this year to date. I'm going to be discussing the major cities here in Simcoe County, so if there is a sub-market like Ramera, Oro-Medonte, Severn that you would like to know, please let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Ryan Megson. I am a real estate agent here in Simcoe County with eXp Realty. If you live in the area or are looking at moving to the area or purchasing property here, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as ringing the bell so that you can be notified when I put out new videos. You can also find all of my contact details in the description below, so please feel free to send me an email or give me a call. Now let's get into today's video. So kicking things off, for the month of September, Simcoe County as a whole saw a 4.8% decrease in the number of sales. We saw just 498 sales in the month of September compared to August where we saw 523 sales. In the month of September, we saw Barrie, Collingwood and Wasaga Beach all saw increases in the number of sales, whereas Innisfil, Orillia and Midland all saw decreases. Although we did see a decrease overall in the number of sales, we did see a good increase in new inventory. Simcoe County received 1,323 new listings in the month of September, which is an increase of 6.3% on the month of August. It is not uncommon for us to see a spike in inventory coming into the fall market, and Wasaga Beach actually saw the largest increase with 30.7% increase in new listings. And Midland was just behind that with a 28.3% increase in new listings. Innisfil saw the largest decrease in new listings with 18.4% less new listings than August. Now, when we look at our current months of inventory, Simcoe County as a whole is sitting at about 3.8 months of inventory. Meaning, if we were to stop getting any new listings, it would take 3.8 months to sell everything that is on the market today. To put that into perspective of just how much the market has slowed down since earlier in the year, in February we were sitting at less than 1 month's inventory. In September for Simcoe County, the average days on market for any sales was 33 days. That is just 3 days longer than in August when things were taking 30 days to sell. Orillia actually saw the lowest number of days on market with just 22 days on average to sell, and Wasaga Beach with the longest days on market of 44 days. It's important to note that even though on average things are taking 33 days to sell, that is only factoring in for the properties that are actually selling. In September, we saw a whopping 1,563 listings expire in Simcoe County. That's a huge jump from earlier in the year when we were only seeing about 700 per month. Another interesting stat that I wanted to go over was the sale price to list price ratio, and this has been one of the biggest causes of uncertainty in the market over the last few years. As a buyer entering into the market, it is extremely difficult to estimate where homes are going to sell based on just their list price. It's important as a seller or a buyer in any market to understand that list price is not just a price tag for that house, but it's also a marketing tactic. During the craziness of the pandemic market, the sale price to list price ratio was actually sitting at 112% in February 2022. So what does this mean? Well, if you were a buyer in that market, looking at homes listed around the $1 million mark, you can expect that those homes are going to sell for around $1.12 million. This was due in large to sellers and their agents listing properties below their market value to generate more competition and in the end up with multiple offers and a higher sale price. This was working extremely well in the hot sellers market because the number of properties actually being listed was far less than the amount of active buyers that were looking to purchase. Many of the properties being listed with this strategy during that time were getting upwards of 50 offers on offer day. Now looking at the current market, in the month for September in Simcoe County, the average sale price to list price ratio was 96.4%. Pretty similar to what we saw in August, which was 96.7%. That means if you're currently looking at homes listed at the 1 million mark, on average they're going to be selling for about $964,000. This is because of two main things. The first thing is the rise in interest rates have pushed a lot of buyers' affordability down, if not out of the market. And two, homes are now being listed at or around their fair market value. Even though occasionally we still are seeing multiple offers, it is nowhere near as crazy as it was earlier in the year. Even properties with 4 to 7 offers on offer day are still selling around or close to their asking price. Some are even selling under the asking price and with conditions. So it's important as a buyer in this current market not to get too overly emotional if you are in a multiple offer situation. Now let's talk about sale price. For the month of September in Simcoe County, the average sold price was just under $770,000, which was actually a 2.6% increase on the month of August. Wasaga Beach had the largest increase in average price for the month of September, with a 7.6% increase to their average price. Barrie was in second with a 3.4% increase to their average price. And Collingwood also seeing an increase of just 0.2%. Innisfil for the month of September actually saw a 7.9% decrease in their average price, along with Orillia with a 7.2% decrease and Midland staying even at 0%. It's important to know that although average sale price is a good stat to know, it's not always a very reliable indicator of how well a market is actually doing. There are many outlying factors which can affect this data and sway it up or down. For example, if in 1 month you saw a huge increase in the number of luxury properties being sold, that's going to bring the average sale price up for that month. And same if you see a large number of as-is or distressed properties being sold in 1 month in a lower price range, that is going to bring the average sale price down. So what does all of this data mean? When we look at the stats for this year to date, it is no surprise that we are in a declining market and have been since the month of February. The average sale price for Simcoe County earlier in the year was over $1 million and is now sitting just over $750,000. So does that mean the market is crashing and we've burst the bubble? In my opinion, no, the market has not crashed. What we have seen is a market correction, and prices have moved in relation to interest rates. When the market peaked back in February, we were seeing some of the lowest recorded inventory levels ever, as well as extremely low interest rates. Since then, the Bank of Canada has done 5 rate hikes for the interest rates, going from an overnight rate of 0.25% to now 3.25%, with another hike expected at the end of the month. When we look at all these rate hikes, it's no surprise that the prices have come down in relation to those interest rates. Just to show you how much the monthly payments have changed on a mortgage, in February, if you were to take out a brand new mortgage for $500,000 at 1.45%, your monthly mortgage payments would have been just under $2,000 a month. Now let's say you take out an identical mortgage in today's interest rates. You're looking at a $500,000 mortgage at 4.45%, which is a good rate right now. And you'd be looking at a monthly mortgage payment of over $3,200. That's over a $1,200 increase to your monthly mortgage payments for the same mortgage. Keep in mind that when qualifying for a mortgage, you also have the stress test to worry about. When interest rates were low, the stress test was capped at a 5.25% interest rate, meaning no matter what interest rate you got, you were going to be assessed as if your interest rate was 5.25%. Now, with interest rates being higher, you're actually being stress tested at your target rate plus 2%. So if you happen to get a 4.45% interest rate, you're going to be stress tested at 6.45%. That means the amount of debt and monthly living expenses you have must fall below a certain percentage of your income. So not only have interest rates gone up, rising the monthly mortgage payments, but also the stress test has pushed the affordability and the qualification of mortgagees down. So when you look at all of this data, it's no surprise that home prices have come down. If the majority of people can't afford or can't be qualified for a mortgage at February prices, then the demand is obviously going to drop. But does this heal the housing crisis, or is this just a painkiller for the symptoms? I've mentioned in previous videos that we have a serious housing supply issue here in Canada, and trying to fix a supply issue by bringing down demand does not solve the problem. Since housing prices have come down, we've seen an increased demand in the rental market. Rentals.ca says that we have seen an 18.4% increase in rental prices across Ontario in the last 12 months. And in Toronto alone, rental prices for a condo apartment have gone up 46% in the last 18 months. So what would happen if interest rates were to come back down? Do we think that home prices would stay the same that they are now? Or will we see a huge flood of buyers coming back into the market, subsequently causing housing prices to go back up? In my opinion, if we cannot solve the housing supply issue, home prices are never going to come down to an affordable level. And when I say affordable, I mean housing prices being lower as well as interest rates being lower, rather than one always being higher and the other being lower. An article by Global News says that in Ontario alone, we need to build 1.5 million homes over the next decade just to keep up with demand. They say we are already short 500,000 homes in Ontario. It is also expected that there are going to be 300,000 new immigrants to Canada every year. So now that we've taken a look at all of these stats, let's talk about what it's like to be a buyer or a seller in today's market. The top two questions that any agent always gets is it a good time to buy or is it a good time to sell? The answer to both of these questions is always going to be dependent on what your current situation is and what your goals are. Somebody looking at purchasing an investment property to flip and sell for a profit is going to be in a completely different ballgame to somebody who's looking to upsize so that their family has more space. What I can tell you, if you're looking at selling in today's market, you can completely disregard any prices from earlier this year. Just because your neighbor might have sold for $900,000 in January does not mean that you will get the same amount of money today. If your agent is not being honest with you about the price of your home, it is highly likely that you're going to be listing too high, your property is going to sit on the market way too long, and you're going to be doing multiple price reductions. Make sure that before listing your property for sale, you get a list of recent comparable sales from your agent, as well as any expired and canceled listings so that you can compare your home to those listings. Have your agent give you a recommended list price, as well as justification for why they have decided that is the right value. When your home hits the market, if you've priced it correctly, you can expect a good amount of traffic coming through in the first couple weeks, but don't be surprised if you don't get any offers straight away. Buyers in this market are taking a lot longer to make decisions and are even doing multiple visits in some cases. If your price is competitive or lower than the fair market value, you may even be able to generate multiple offers if there's enough interest coming in. Even if you get multiple offers, you can always expect offers currently to come in under your list price, and a lot of buyers right now are even offering way under asking. There are a lot of buyers who will submit a lower offer just to test the water and see how much room for negotiation there is. So it's important to remember that any offer right now is a good offer, and you shouldn't get too emotional if it does come in lower than your expectations. Remember what your goals are and have a number in your head that you need to hit to be able to achieve those goals. If you're looking at buying in this current market, you can expect to have a few more options and be able to take your time a little bit more when deciding whether or not to offer. However, keep a close eye on all the new listings that come out, as there may be some that are priced competitively and may generate multiple offers and sell quickly. Chances are, if you're looking at a new listing and it seems like a great deal, you're probably not the only person that's thinking about it. Now, when offering on a property that may have been sitting on the market a little bit longer, just because it hasn't sold or it might be slightly overpriced, doesn't mean the seller is going to take a lowball offer. Ensure that before offering on any property, your agent is looking at comparables as well as expireds and cancelled listings, and making sure that your offer price can be justified when presenting that offer. There are a lot of buyers out there right now who are just looking to get a deal, and they're submitting super low offers with no justification, and sellers are just refusing to work with them. As a buyer in today's market, we can also start getting in those conditions of financing, condition of home inspection back in again, so that helps if you want to feel more protected and make sure that you can do your due diligence before firming up on a deal. It is still very important to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, get pre-approved before you start putting in offers, and make sure that you're working with a good agent and a good mortgage broker. Whether you're looking at buying or selling in any market, it is always important to make sure that you align yourself with the right professionals. When looking for an agent, make sure that it is somebody that you can trust and someone who is going to represent your best interests. So there you have it, guys. The market stats for Simcoe County. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you are thinking about buying or selling in the area, please feel free to reach out to me. You can see my contact details in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please hit that subscribe button.